So welcome back to Real Talk. First of all, I'm sorry we have a bit of noises around us, but I couldn't say no to this amazing location that a good friend of mine said yes. I think you all know we are at the restaurant Bergasse in the middle of Zurich, in the heart of Zurich, I used to say. And it's also nice because actually my guest, I met her here, not at Bergasse, but at the Atelier Bar, who is like the little baby of Bergasse. And I could do a long list to introduce you, my guest, but I will keep it short and she's going to tell us more about her. We are here with Anna Erat. She is Finnish, half Swiss, half Finnish. She's born in Finland, came to Switzerland, did her studies in the University of Zurich, but also studied Harvard. Something that got really my attention was that she was the first female director of doctors at the Hirslanden Group Clinic, and she's mother of a girl. Privately, she loves to ski, and I think she's going to tell us about this. And yes, you're more than welcome. Thank you for being here, Anna.
Well, thank you so much for the invite. I'm absolutely pleased to be here, and it's of course a beautiful place. So maybe a little bit noisy, but we are, as you said, in the heart of Zurich. Yeah. We couldn't be in a nicer place. So really honored to be here in your podcast and in this wonderful place.
Thank you very much for your time, because I see you, I follow you on Instagram, and I see you're everywhere doing all of this. And that's also why I wanted you to be a guest of mine, because I think you inspire a lot, not just off the side of what you do, it's really something interesting. Friends of mine, when they asked, who is the next guest? And they said, Anna, what she does, and they said, now you are in working for Longevity Center Zurich or Switzerland, let's say. Please correct me if I'm silly. You do so many things, so feel free to.
No, you're doing brilliant.
Yeah, and you're a mother. You have a partner. You do hobbies, so this inspires me a lot. And that's why I was like, I have to have her in my podcast. But now please tell us, how was your journey? So you're born in Finland, how long did you stay there? When did you come to Switzerland? Tell us a bit about you.
It's been, in a way, a long journey, and at the same time, life goes by so fast. So it's really kind of the dualistic problem that we have. But yes, I was born in Finland. My father was Swiss, my mother Finnish, and so that's where I was born and spent my first 16 years.
Okay,
and
not that long.
No, but the first years were so important. They really shape, I believe, your personality very much. At the same time, I was very, very fortunate to be able to spend a lot of time in Switzerland during the holidays, and also with my father and grandfather, and so I think that in a way, the Swissness is also very, very deeply rooted. When I was 16, I then went to the US and as an exchange student, and spent a year there, and that really ignited kind of the interest, and also in many ways also the sympathy and empathy and admiration for what the United States of America stood for, and the origins of the country. And so I was very fortunate then to later on be able to study both in Switzerland and at Harvard Medical School in Boston, and really enjoyed that possibility to share kind of my time between two different continents.
Yes,
that was wonderful.
And you started with 16 until 16, so when you moved to the US, you moved alone already, or with your parents?
No, alone, because I was an exchange student.
Yes,
so I got this possibility to spend a year in an American high school, which was wonderful, really wonderful.
Yeah, I can imagine. But I'm just asking because if I imagine now my son is 12 and going to move like in some years, I'm panicking, you know. Of course, we grow them to be free.
Me too.
Yeah,
my daughter is 15, so
Oh, this would be in 1 year. Can you imagine your daughter?
Well, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
of course,
but,
I know.
But
The
as a
mother heart says no,
Exactly,
but the
exactly.
thinking of other things says yes, I think. No.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the world has changed quite a lot.
That's true. That's a point. You studied medicine. I know it's a long way because I don't know if you know, but my uncle also studied at Harvard.
Yes, you told me. Yes,
He used to also live there for 6 years afterwards and stuff. So I know it's a long, long way. To become a doctor, it's not just I want to try something. It's a journey. You have to be really, I want this. I think if I see. So did you know that you want to become a doctor since ever, or this was something that I was always curious. I wanted always to ask you this. So.
No, I was not. Most people say I was born a doctor. I was born.
I can't imagine something different.
No, I really wasn't. I was very interested in natural sciences, in natural phenomena. So very early on, also because I was an alpine skier, an athlete.
Yes.
I was very curious about how to boost performance, how the body works. Mm-hmm. So in a way, there was a lot of interest and curiosity, but I didn't really think I would become a medical doctor. In fact, I started first with natural sciences. Before going into medicine, I started with natural sciences.
Okay, that's crazy. So then after you studies, you came to Switzerland?
Not completely. So it was quite a convoluted journey, but in any case, I spent more or less half of my time in Zurich, at the University of Zurich, the medical school, and the other half in Boston at Harvard Medical School. But as you know, Boston is so amazing. You have all these universities.
Yes.
So we spent a lot of time at MIT, at Boston College, Boston University, Tufts. There are so many amazing universities. So yes, my heart kind of still beats for Harvard Medical School and also the business school later on. But Boston is just such an inspirational place for young people. So I felt so fortunate to be there at that time and to be able to spend time with so many amazing people.
Yes, I can imagine. So after all you did and you did many things after studies, so the point that I told you before that got really my attention when I was reading about you online was that you were the first female doctors director of the group of Hirslanden.
That's not completely correct.
Yeah.
It's actually for the Hirslanden Clinic.
Okay.
So I was a chief physician. That's correct. And the first female one, which sounds amazing because we're so used to nowadays to see all kinds of females reaching any position that they want to.
Yeah, that's true.
But indeed, that is true. And I was very happy and honored to get that role.
I can imagine. And now this was the point when I said to my friends, she works now in a longevity clinic and stuff. Like, I got so many questions of them. Some people were still like, what's this? That I got a bit scared when I heard this, because I think we are in a time that we should know a bit about. And some, of course, they got lots of questions. And then I tried to explain to people, like, in a way they understand. And I said, when you do Botox and stuff, you take care of you from outside to still look young. Actually, they do this from inside, that you stay young, not just to look, but to stay. So I think this was the easiest way to tell this someone who comes not from a background of medicine. And then, of course, I could ask her what we can do, like what's the best vitamin we should take, what's the best supplements we should take, if we actually really, this 10,000 steps a day, it's really important or not. Of course, many questions. But I wanted to, because I want to know also about you, so I don't want to go so deep in the longevity theme, which is really a brilliant topic. But to keep it short, what's something that you as a doctor and you position and as a friend or as a woman especially also would tell to a friend if she asks you, tell me 3 things that I should do every day, and this is already a good part. Of course it's not everything, depends also if you have sickness or not, but as a healthy person would say, what are 3 things that you say, this, if you already do this 3 things, you're in a good way, on a good way, let's say.
That is a very good question, first of all. And since we live in an era of personalized medicine and precision medicine, of course we have to look at the individual needs. So it depends on which gender, what age, what predispositions you have, where you've been living. If you've been living in very air polluted countries, there might be other things that you might have to pay attention to. And of course age and gender plays a huge role, and lifestyle.
Yes, of course.
So let's first dig into the diet. If you're very vegetarian-based or even vegan-based, there are a few things you need to pay attention to a little bit more than if you're also a carnivore. So one of the things, of course, is to absolutely make sure that you get enough of the B12, which is usually found in animal products, which doesn't mean at all that you should eat animal products, but you just need to be aware. The second thing that's very important when we talk about the diet is that if you're vegan or vegetarian, depending a little bit on how you balance your diet, you definitely, or anyone really, I mean even if you're a carnivore, you do need to pay attention to the quality of proteins, the quality of amino acids that you're taking, and through your diet and maybe also through supplementations. So we call them branched chain amino acids, which are kind of the essential amino acids that we don't really necessarily, we can't produce ourselves through our food. So we need to pay attention to that, and also when the intake takes place. So the older we get, the more important it is to also absolutely make sure that in the evening or after training that we really get a boost of these essential amino acids. And in terms of vitamins, B12 is very important, obviously, but also vitamin D. Living here in Switzerland,
it's difficult.
It's difficult.
I got injections actually.
Yes, absolutely. Because also through our lifestyles, we a lot of us have a lot of kind of office work, so we sit inside. And when we go outside, we protect ourselves, which is good for the skin, which is super for the skin. But about 90% of vitamin D is actually produced through UVB light in the skin. And so if we protect our skin, if we're sitting inside all the time, we just don't produce enough vitamin D. And that leads to vitamin D deficiency, and that then leads to, of course, complications, particularly in women. Also men, of course, but in postmenopausal women in particular. Or also very athletic, sporty, some sport disciplines predisposed to stress fractures. So this is what we see. I'm a sports physician, but medicine physician and internist. And so in terms of sports medicine, in some disciplines, we see stress fractures. And this, of course, we have to tackle and address through sufficient calcium intake, sufficient vitamin D intake, and a few other things as well. So that was the first part. So the first part was the diet. To be absolutely sure that you can optimize your diet and also personalize your diet. That's very important. And the more natural, the better. And of course, when we're talking in today's world, we also want to try to be organic and also local. And a lot of times that really makes sense because the content of vitamins and the content of minerals is completely different than when we have produced, it has been shipped for months and months from somewhere else and served in various ways. So the local aspect and also the organic aspect is very important. So that's a diet. Then the second one is most certainly sports, exercise. Not only endurance training, so cardiovascular training. That's very important also for weight management, but also for other very, very beneficial effects. But also muscles. It's not only about aesthetics, but muscles per se, healthy muscles are anti-inflammatory. And one of the main drivers of aging is chronic inflammation. One of the main drivers of chronic disease is the chronic inflammation. So just having healthy muscles already counteracts this process. And this is huge. This is something that we completely underestimate.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's super interesting. So when I was at Harvard, I was studying also transplant surgery and why chronic rejection of transplants is taking place. And one of the reasons is chronic inflammation. So we really looked into these mechanisms. And they are really key drivers of morbidity, mortality, and of aging. So anti-inflammatory. And the third aspect is making sure that you have good social interactions. Take care of your family, take care of your friends, make sure that you really cherish your relationships. It's so important. So if you look at the Nurses' Health Study, which is one of the oldest longitudinal studies in the world, it was founded in 1976 in Boston. And it's still going on. It's an ongoing study. It clearly shows that one of the main prognostic factors of healthy aging are the social interactions. So take care of your friends and family.
It's so interesting this point that you're saying now, especially because I went to the speech you had to this event you did at the Dolder Hotel, which was amazing event. And there was the Psylogic from the University of Zurich, and he said something that I looked to my friend, which was with me, and I said, okay, I'm going to live 20 years longer then, because one of the things he said, people that they do what they want, like in fact not thinking about what others are thinking, what she's doing, or like they live happier, and that they live longer, of course, because they don't have always this fear or this oh my god, I don't want to do this and stuff. So I said, okay, I'm going to live really long because I don't care what other people think. But nowadays, it's not that it's since ever like this, but nowadays I'm like really in a point that I feel so good with the people around me and what I'm doing and the way I'm going, and especially my base, my family, of course.
But I already know you a little bit, and what I can say, however, is that you care about the people close to you.
Yeah, you care.
So you care how they're doing, how they're feeling. So you're a very, very caring person. That doesn't mean you have to think about what they think. That's a different aspect. But you are very caring.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's good for longevity.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think this comes a bit from my background story, because I didn't grow up with so much care. Let's say until I was 5, yes, and then after not. But this I'm going to do. Lots of people ask me and got interested in this. I'm going to do one day a podcast a bit more about me. But I think this has to do with my background story. But you're right. I really care about the people around me. The people I choose to have around me, I really care about them, yes. So we are in the team caring. You're a mother, as we know, of a girl at 15. Tell me, is this the most difficult job you had till now?
It's the most rewarding job. It's the most rewarding job by far. I don't consider it a job.
No, of course, it's just a matter of thing.
It's just wonderful. And a lot of people, so teenagers have a bad reputation.
Yeah.
But I love teenagers.
Really? I'm going to call you. I have to.
I really love. I adore this age.
Okay.
I really do. And I'm very fortunate. I have a very, very good relationship with my daughter. Knock on wood, as I say, but it's really wonderful. It's very rewarding. It's critical. You get some criticism.
Yeah.
But that's good.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
And your daughter, especially in this age, I think she's also now looking what the way she's taking professional studying, or it's for you important that she goes like, because there are mothers with the same background that you have, and they're like really, I want my kids to become the same, and has to be also she has to follow my steps, or you're like, no, I'm here, I support you whenever you need, whatever you need, and go find your way. Like, tell me and I'm here.
I think the latter is probably correct. Every individual has to know for her himself in which direction to go. As parents, we can only be there to help and support and motivate and give a safe haven to develop in whatever direction our children want to go. Having said that, of course, it's always difficult to understand how proactive I should be or how laid back I should be. And the school has an important role as well. I mean, of course, we as parents have the most important role, or also grandparents or extended community, but the school as well. So I think, yes, I mean, in a way, choosing where we live and which school we send our children to, of course, has an important impact. And that's quite proactive, I would say, not a completely passive decision. But then they have to, I believe they have to find their own way. With a little bit of support here and a little bit of support there. But there is, I mean, they do need support.
Yeah, for sure. I think. Also, you did your whole career, so you had there this newborn baby. You had every stage. She's now a teenager, as you say. How was it for you as a mother? Because I'm also a mother of two, and I have help at home. Lots of people see me and they're like, "Oh my God, I don't have kids, and I don't do the half that you're doing." Like, I see, if I watch your Instagram, you're here, and then you do this, you go working out, you meet people, you have social life. How do you do this? And I'm never afraid to say I have help. I have help, and I need help, and I'm fine with that. But I meet also lots of women, they're afraid to say I have some support, I have some help at home. So how was it, how did you manage this? Because I mean, I know the stages of little kids. How was for you? How did you go through all these things and still caring about your kid?
I think my life probably looks a bit busier than it is, and that also has to do with social media.
Yeah, of course.
So every time you post something, people think, oh, that took like 5 days to do, which it usually didn't. Sometimes things that you don't post take a lot longer.
Oh yes, believe me.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it looks probably a little bit more busy than reality. However, yes, I mean, also training as a junior doctor, it's really quite time-consuming, and not only time-consuming, but also night shifts, weekend shifts.
Exactly.
When I worked with Swiss Ice Hockey Federation, who just, by the way, received or won their silver medal.
Yes,
congratulations.
Yeah,
really
congratulations.
Well
yeah, well done.
Yeah, very proud. So when I worked with them, of course, I also traveled for 2-3 weeks at a time. Okay. So I had help. Also, my parents, my daughter's grandparents, they don't live here in Switzerland, but they came for a longer period of time
to stay
and to help. I also had I did have nannies, and not full-time nannies, but I had nannies. And one reason for that is, of course, that I needed help, but second of all, also because of language. Because my native language is Swedish.
Yes.
And I wanted my daughter to be a bit more exposed to Swedish, not only for me, but for the nannies. So that was wonderful. I had absolutely adorable part-time nannies.
That's amazing.
I had a dog. We have a dog.
Yeah.
That helps a lot too. Actually, it takes time, but it also gives emotional support and stability. Also, when, for instance, I'm away, it's nice to have pets.
Oh, I hope my son doesn't see this because he's asking me for a dog, and I'm always like, no, it's.
Maybe a cat. Maybe a cat.
No, I don't like cats.
Maybe a rabbit.
No, don't give ideas, Anna. I'm fine, thank you. No. Okay, that's really nice. So, and private, I know you are in a relationship. I know also I met your partner as well. and I see you have lots of hobbies. I see you skiing together. I see you traveling together. How was for you to when you met a new partner in life? I think you met here in Switzerland, no?
Yes.
So you were already like, okay, I'm ready for now a relationship and stuff, or did you like this happen in a moment when you thought, oh my God, actually I don't have time for a relationship? Because always we met some people in the most unexpected moment.
That's true.
So how was it for you?
Well, first of all, I also have to say that today he helps me a lot, really a lot, and that's immensely important.
Yes.
But of course, that wasn't always the case because we didn't know each other.
Yes.
Always, particularly when a child is very young. So I went through a divorce when my daughter was 6, and those times were extremely tough. And then quite a few years later, I met my current partner, and as we say, it's not something you plan.
No.
It usually comes when usually you meet someone when it's very inconvenient. Usually.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a little bit inconvenient, it's possible, but it developed very organically, and nowadays it gives me a lot of joy, a lot of help, a lot of stability.
And I have to say, sorry to interrupt you, I can see this when I see you both together. I see you really as a supportive couple, each other, supporting each other. This is a relationship goal, like this is how I imagine a couple. And lots of people don't know, but I met also my partner like in a moment that nobody thought that I'm going to meet someone. I was actually in a relationship when I met my partner, in a really toxic one, but I was there, and I met him then, and we moved together between 10 days. Like we met, and after 10 days we were living together.
Well, sometimes you have to move quickly.
Exactly. So about I mentioned before, and you mentioned a bit, your hobbies, and it's not just a hobby. I saw you did like professional skiing and athletics stuff, and you were invited to the monobob crew of St. Moritz. So tell us a bit about this.
Yeah, that's a great joy, really. So when I was very young, a teenager, I did alpine skiing competitively, mainly in the Nordics, but also in Central Europe. But that's really a long time ago, because once I moved to the US when I was 16, that was the end. It was fine. It was a very conscious decision. So I was very happy to prioritize the scholastic part, the academic part of my life at that time. But now I'm looking into what else I can do for fun, and as you said, my partner and I, we do things together.
Yes.
So we discovered a few new disciplines. So a few years ago I started sailing a bit more with boats of foil that fly. So the Quant 23 class. And then from there, but that's in the summer, so then we were thinking, well, what can we do in the winter? So apart from skiing, of course, and since we're living in Switzerland, it's a very integral part of the weekend activities. And so we started bobsledding, monobobsledding, which is a very new discipline. It was founded in 2008. One of the founders was Rolf Sachs in St. Moritz, and then they rebuilt the bob so that one person sits in it rather than 4 or 2. And it actually became an Olympic discipline in 2022.
Wow.
So it really the development went really rapidly.
Fast,
And and now I sit on the board of the in St. Moritz of this monopod kind of club, and then there is this British club called the Horseshoe Club, which is also supporting the discipline, and so I'm very active there. And this year, I tried the Cresta also for the first time. So that was a thrill. That was really a thrill.
That's cool. So are we going to see Anna at the Olympics?
No.
This was a fast one. Okay.
Yeah. But it's fun. It's really a lot of fun.
It's really fun.
And it's also the social aspect of it. It's not only kind of the athletic aspect.
Yeah, of course.
It's really fun. Wonderful people. You're out in nature. I mean, I'm sure you know Engadine, the valley of Engadine. It's a beautiful valley.
It is. It's really
almost always sunny.
Yeah.
Out, fresh air. It's wonderful.
And really good food.
And very good food. Very good food.
And because it's next to Italy, so I think they got inspired a lot. I love also Engadine, and then we are also on a point telling you now your story, what you do, what you work for, your hobbies. Do you also? I'm sure you have a really a line of lifestyle of eating and exercising and all. Do you also when you come out? I also know that you can also have a glass of wine and stuff, and you're fine with it. It's not that you're a drinker and like, oh my god, I can't have this glass of wine because of. So when these days you decide, today it's my day off, or I want to have a good time. Are you fine with that? Like, you really enjoy this moment?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's always about the balance, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I do enjoy a glass of wine every now and then. Certainly.
Yeah.
And it's not like an absolute no-go. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think this is so
it's
important.
It's a balance.
Yeah. I think this is so important for people to hear sometimes from someone who comes from the background you come, because I know, I don't know if you know, but I lost 18 kilos after my second pregnancy. I had a hard time to lose and stuff. And of course, in the beginning, when people saw me and I still had this overweight, and yeah, I call it overweight, and they saw me eating. They saw me once a week, and when they saw me, I was having a glass of wine or eating something. Let's say not a salad, but a pasta. They were like, oh, but you were not on a diet. And I was like, not because I'm doing a diet, I cannot have one meal or a day free. Also to keep motivated to reach the goal that I want to, because people go on a hardcore diet sometimes. And after 2-3 days, you're like pissed and in a bad mood. Your social around you change, because you're like, everything, and that's nice to see you when I see you on social media having a good time and stuff. I say, you see, it's all about really life. It's all about the balance.
It really is about balance, and that doesn't mean that we want to promote now, people having a bowl of pasta or a glass of wine. But for yourself, I think it's important to know what you like, what you appreciate, and really find the balance that works for you.
Yeah.
But having said that, of course, fasting can be very, very beneficial.
I do fasting.
Exactly. So you can have really great fasting programs and give your body a kickstart. So fasting can be very, 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 very beneficial as well, particularly in our age. The older you get, the more you have to also be considerate about the effects of the fasting. So, and one reason for that is that at the age of 30, the muscle mass starts decreasing.
Yes.
And so we need to counter that through training, of course, through resistance training, ideally also eccentric exercises. But also through the regeneration, through the intake of particularly essential amino acids, and some of those branched chain amino acids that we were talking about earlier. And therefore, you have to be a little bit smarter about how you fast.
Okay. okay, maybe I should not tell you how I felt. No, no. Actually, I started because I have colitis.
Yes.
I found out that my intestines has to rest, and I started 2 years ago, like 2 years ago, really constantly to do it, and I'm doing it also today. I'm still on fasting. Actually, I stopped eating at 5, 6. I don't have like really dinner, and I eat on the next day, for sure just after 12. Like it's never before 12, and I see a big difference. Not of course in case just of weight, but also how I feel. And
You feel more energized?
Yes, it's crazy. I feel much more energized. I work out in the morning, so I still don't eat for working out, and for me it's fine. I feel much better working out in the morning before I had some food than when I go. Sometimes I don't have time in the morning. I go in the evening. I'm like, oh my god, I'm watching when it's this finishing, you know?
Yeah, but it's great. I mean, you also kind of train your body to use fat as fuel.
Yeah,
which is great.
And now I'm still having a teenager, which of course I see my son, and it's so. I'm happy that he loves healthy stuff as well, but all on the side that he takes when he comes home from school, and I wash his jacket or something. Lots of chocolate paper and, trash food, let's say. How is for you? Is your daughter also into this healthy lifestyle, or it's more?
She is, and she started training quite a lot, and also paying attention to food. But I think she has a very, very healthy balance, which I'm very thankful for, because that's not always trivial with,
especially in this age.
In this age, it can be very dangerous, very dangerous. So. But for now it works well. I think she has found a really, really, really good balance. But it helps to have, of course, people around you that have similar lifestyles.
Yeah, that's true.
It's also to have kind of a sporty lifestyle.
Yeah, that's true.
It can be a double-edged sword, though, the sporty lifestyle, of course. But for now it works well for her. Yeah.
That's nice. I see, Anna, you can teach us a lot, not just about what you do, also you already before we met here, when I see you talking about motherhood and stuff, it's really inspiring to me. It's in a lovely way, in a light way. I think you're not the kind of mother, you're not like just there pushing and just so strict and stuff. And we see nowadays a lot of you. I saw also in the NZZ this morning that you had this girls' dinner, lunch about longevity at the Mandarin Oriental.
Yes.
Right? So where I'm going to see you next? What's the next steps of Anna? So can also for people maybe to know, can they join a speech of you, or can they? Yeah, I think it's nice to see, because you were also at the WEF last year. So, what's the next steps that we can see Anna Erat?
What are next? Well, I was very nicely actually portrayed in Centurion, which is the magazine by American Express. I really did an entire edition on longevity.
Wow. Okay.
In the DACH region, a German-speaking part of the world. So I think either it came out last Friday or it came out this week. So maybe that's the next one. I don't know.
That's cool. And at Real Talk, at my podcast, they will also see lots of you.
That's a huge highlight for me. What is next? Probably also some faculty at the University of St. Gallen. So we also use at the Executive School of Management. We try to really show executive managers also what health is, what resilience is all about. Not only for them, in order to boost their performance and optimize their health, but also to sensitize them to take care of their employees, because that's hugely important also in part, or in terms of risk mitigation.
Yes.
So, and that also is of course important for the boards, board of directors. So we have these kind of people that we coach, or we talk about health and longevity and preventive medicine. That's probably one of the next events that are coming? I mean, there are quite a few.
I see. So, and for more, we can follow you on Instagram. And also the Longevity Center of Switzerland, you can also follow. They have also an Instagram account. And yes, I'm really thankful that you took your time, because I know we have lots of to-dos, and hope to see you soon privately.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It really has been a pleasure, and always great talking to you. And yes, I hope I will see you privately very, very soon.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you.